I was born in Price, Utah in 1927.
So that makes you
82. I am the youngest of four girls. My oldest sister is Mildred, my next one is Janelle, and the last one was Irene. My mother's name was Esther Samuels, and my father's name was Ellis Wiley Maurer.
So then it was college. Had a good time at the Y, went skiing a lot, and met my wife going skiing on what was then called, what's now called Sundance, was then called Timpanogos? No, what? Huh? Timpaven, yeah, something like it. Okay, we decided to get married very quickly, actually, in May of 1949.
We met and we decided to get married, and we eloped and came back on Mother's Day.
That had just one problem associated with it. A student on a student visa couldn't get married. It was against the rules, except when I came, they didn't have those rules in writing. It was only after the first group partially didn't come back that they put everything in writing, and this was one of them, that you couldn't get married. And because they wanted these students to come back to Germany and spread the good word. And so they tried to hold me to the same conditions which I hadn't signed. I pointed it out to them a few times, and well, they sort of hummed and hawed around, and eventually, though, I had to abandon my status as a student anyway because I needed a job. We had to have some more income, and that meant changing my status because I couldn't get a Social Security number otherwise. And so we went up to Salt Lake City and an immigration office there and presented the matter to them, and they promptly arrested me. But they let me go. They released me in the custody of my wife. And I've been there ever since.
And I have to say, I enjoyed teasing him. I would pull jokes on him. He didn't appreciate it. He was serious about that, but that was why it was so fun. But he did the same to me several times, so. I bought this in Salt Lake with Catherine one day in a nature store. And you put a battery in it, and when you pass by, it'll go, whoop, you know, what do the frogs do? And anyway, I put that under the corner of his bed one day. And every time he went by, I don't know whether this works or not. So anyway, I put it under his bed, and pretty soon he came down the hall and he said, "Gloria, what are you doing?" And I said, "I'm not doing anything." Of course, I couldn't keep a straight face. And so he said, "You come down here." And I went down to his room, and he started to look under his bed, but he didn't go down far enough. But soon he said, "What have you got in your hands, Gloria?" I said, "I haven't got anything." And he leaned over and pulled the cover off from the bottom of the bed there, and there was that frog. And he threw himself back. And I thought, boy, he could have had a heart attack. That wasn't what I was what I wanted. But he didn't like that frog at all. My oldest daughter was Catherine Jan Stadelbauer. Well, she just had a likable personality. Well, Kathy she just has to have people around her. I took them to the beach one day, and before I even had my blanket down on the sand, Kathy comes back with about 6 little kids, and she said, "Mommy, these are my friends." And it just went on and on and on from there. And then my second daughter, I named Christine June Stadelbauer. She's very loving and giving. And I have to say, she has been very good about coming. Christopher has an office here in Orem, and Christy will come with him and spend the day with me, which I love. I think my life has turned out better than I thought it would. And I think that was mainly with Doug's influence. I was just a little girl from a little town in Utah, and he took me back east, and it was just a whole different world. And then the children came, and of course I loved that. And it's better. It's better than I thought it was.
And I wanted to talk about family today. I kind of like this setting here, actually, because we are all a family, and it's sort of a good way to get together and remember those that have gone before us. Of course, this whole setting, as you walk through the cemetery, you see family names, one next to each other, and here Doug and Gloria are buried next to each other. And we are the product of their lives. We are their posterity, and we're what they look back on and remember fondly. And I think we really need to honor the two of them in the way that we live our lives and raise our own families.
Be kind and gentle to each other. Don't say things that will hurt their feelings, because those things spoken you can never take back.